When I first met the doctor, a long, long time ago, he knew all about me. Think about that. Impressionable young girl, and suddenly this man just drops out of the sky. He's clever and mad and wonderful, and knows every last thing about her. Imagine what that does to a girl. Trouble is, it's all back to front. My past is his future. We're traveling in opposite directions. Every time I meet, I know him more and he knows me less. I live for the days when I see him, but I know that every time I do, he'll be one step further away. The day's coming when I'll look into that man's eyes, my doctor, and he won't have the faintest idea who I am. And I think it's going to kill me. Hello, old friend. And here we are, you and me, on the last page. By the time you read these words, Rory and I will be long gone. So know that we lived well, and we're very happy. And above all else, know that we will love you always. Sometimes I do worry about you, though. I think once we're gone, you won't be coming back here for a while, and you might be alone, which you should never be. Don't be alone, Doctor. And do one more thing for me. There's a little girl waiting in a garden. She's going to wait a long while, so she's going to need a lot of hope. Go to her, tell her a story. Tell her if she's patient, the days are coming that she'll never forget. Tell her she'll go to sea and fight pirates. She'll fall in love with a man who will wait 2,000 years to keep her safe. Tell her she'll give hope to the greatest painter who ever lived and save a whale in outer space. Tell her this is the story of Amelia Pond. And this is how it ends. I traveled across the world. From the ruins of New York to the fusion mills of China, right across the radiation pits of Europe. And everywhere I went, I saw people just like you, living as slaves. But if Martha Jones becomes a legend, then that's wrong. Because my name isn't important. There's someone else. The man who sent me out there, the man who told me to walk the earth. And his name is the Doctor. He has saved your lives so many times, and you never even knew he was there. He never stops. He never stays. He never asks to be thanked. But I've seen him. I know him. I love him. And I know what he can do. Planet Earth. This is where I was born. And this is where I died. For the first 19 years of my life, nothing happened. Nothing at all. Not ever. And I met a man called the Doctor. A man who could change his face. He took me away from home in his magical machine. He showed me the whole of time and space. I thought it would never end. That's what I thought. But then came the army of ghosts, then came Torchwood and the war. And that's when it all ended. This is the story of how I died. This is Emergency Program 1. Rose, now listen, this is important. This message is activated, then it can only mean one thing. We must be in danger, and I mean fatal. I'm dead or about to die any second with no chance of escape. And that's okay. I hope it's a good death. But I promise to look after you, and that's what I'm doing. The TARDIS is taking you home. And I bet you're fussing and moaning right now, typical. But hold on, and just listen a bit more. The TARDIS can never return for me. Emergency Program 1 means I'm facing an enemy that should never get their hands on this machine. So this is what you should do. Let the TARDIS die. Just let this old box gather dust. No one can open it, no one will even notice it. Let it become a strange little thing standing on a street corner. And over the years, the world will move on, and the box will be buried. And if you want to remember me, then you can do one thing. That's all. One thing. Have a good life. Do that for me, Rose. Have a fantastic life. I wish I could tell you that you'll be loved, that you'll be safe and cared for and protected, but this isn't a time for lies. What you are going to be, Melody, is very, very brave. But not as brave as they'll have to be, because there's someone coming. I don't know where he is, or what he's doing, but trust me, he is on his way. There's a man who's never gonna let us down, and not even an army can keep him away. Leave her! Just you leave her! He's the last of his kind. He looks young, but he's lived for hundreds and hundreds of years. And wherever they take you, Melody, no matter how scared you are, I promise you, you will never be alone. Because this man is your father. He has a name, but the people of our world know him better as the last centurion. Do you know what I was saying about the earth revolving? It's like when you're a kid. The first time they tell you the earth's turning and you just can't quite believe it because everything looks like it's standing still. I can feel it. The turn of the earth. The ground beneath our feet is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, and the entire planet is hurtling round the sun at 67,000 miles an hour, and I can feel it. We're falling through space, you and me, clinging to the skin of this tiny little world. And if we let go, that's who I am. Amelia's house, when she was 7. The night she waited. The girl who waited. Come here, you. It's funny. I thought if you could hear me, I could hang on somehow. Silly me. Silly old doctor. When you wake up, you'll have a mum and a dad. You won't even remember me. Well, you'll remember me a little. I'll be a story in your head. That's okay. We're all stories in the end. Just make it a good one, eh? 'Cause it was, you know. It was the best. The daft old man who stole a magic box and ran away. Did I ever tell you that I stole it? Well, I borrowed it. I was always going to take it back. That box. Amy, you'll dream about that box. It'll never leave you. Big and little at the same time. Brand new and ancient and the bluest blue ever. The times we had, eh? Would have had. Never had. In your dreams, they'll still be there. The doctor and Amy Pond, and the days that never came. The cracks are closing, but they can't close properly till I'm on the other side. I don't belong here anymore. I think I'll skip the rest of the rewind. I hate repeats. Live well. Love, Rory. Bye-bye, Pond. This was exactly you. All this, all of it. You make them so afraid. When you began all those years ago, sailing off to see the universe, did you ever think you'd become this? The man who can turn an army around at the mention of his name. Doctor. Word for healer and wise man throughout the universe. We get that word from you, you know. But if you carry on the way you are, what might that word come to mean? To the people of the Gamma Forests, the word doctor means mighty warrior. How far you've come. And now they've taken a child. The child of your best friends. And they're going to turn her into a weapon just to bring you down. And all this, my love, in fear of you. Hello, Stonehenge! Who takes the Pandorica, takes the universe. But bad news, everyone, 'cause guess who? Ha! Listen, you lot, you're all whizzing about. It's very distracting. Could you all just stay still a minute because I am talking? Now the question of the hour is, who's got the Pandorica? Answer, I do. Next question, who's coming to take it from me? Come on, look at me. No plan, no backup, no weapons worth a damn. Oh, and something else I don't have. Anything to lose. So if you're sitting up there in your silly little spaceships with all your silly little guns, and you've got any plans on taking the Pandorica tonight, just remember who's standing in your way. Remember every black day I ever stopped you. And then, do the smart thing. Let somebody else try first. You're a genius. You're stone cold brilliant, you are. I swear, you really are. But you could be so much more. You could be beautiful. With a mind like that, we could travel the stars. It would be my honor. Because you don't need to own the universe. Just see it. Have the privilege of seeing the whole of time and space. That's ownership enough. Hello, Stormageddon. It's the doctor, here to help. Be quiet. Go to sleep. No, really. Stop crying. You've got a lot to look forward to, you know. A normal human life on Earth. Mortgage repayments, the 9 to 5, a persistent, nagging sense of spiritual emptiness. Save the tears for later, boyo. Oh. That was crabby. No, that was old. But I am old, Stormy. I am so old. So near the end. But you, Alfie Owens, you are so young, aren't you? And you know, right now, everything's ahead of you. You could be anything. Yes, I know. You could walk among the stars. They don't actually look like that, you know. They're rather more impressive. Yeah. You know, when I was little like you, I dreamt of the stars. I think it's fair to say, in the language of your age, that I lived my dream. I owned the stage. Gave it 110%. I hope you had as much fun as I did, Alfie. I don't know. See, that's the thing. I'm the doctor, but beyond that, I just don't know. I literally do not know who I am. It's all untested. Am I funny? Am I sarcastic? Sexy? Right old misery, life and soul? Right-handed, left-handed, a gambler, a fighter, a coward, a traitor, a liar, a nervous wreck? I mean, judging by the evidence, I've certainly got a gob. And how am I going to react when I see this? Huh, a great big threatening button. A great big threatening button which must not be pressed under any circumstances, am I right? Let me guess, some sort of control matrix, Hold on, what's feeding it? What have we got here? Blood? Yep, that's definitely blood. Human blood. A positive. With just a dash of iron. But that means blood control. Blood control! Oh, I haven't seen blood control for years. You're controlling all the A positives. Which leaves us with a great big stinking problem. Because I really don't know who I am. I don't know when to stop. So if I see a great big threatening button which should never, ever, ever be pressed, I just want to do this. Well, perfect to look at, maybe. And it was beautiful. They used to call it the shining world of the seven systems. And on the continent of wild endeavor, in the mountains of solace and solitude, there stood the citadel of the Time Lords, the oldest and mightiest race in the universe. Looking down on the galaxies below, sworn never to interfere, only to watch. Children of Gallifrey were taken from their families at the age of 8 to enter the academy. Some say that's where it all began, when he was a child. That's when the Master saw eternity. As a novice, he was taken for initiation. He stood in front of the untempered schism. It's a gap in the fabric of reality through which could be seen the whole of the vortex. We stand there, 8 years old, staring at the raw power of time and space. Just a child. Some would be inspired. Some would run away. and some would go mad.